Okay, the pregnant pause here, and we launch. Now, to recapitulate, the last time I spoke, Molly had not been here, and because we were out of phase, I was wondering if they would come. I know this is really boring, but anyway. So Molly, excuse me, Molly did come, and I want to do a combined, the differences Molly make, and the state of the art now. Okay, so this is the last. Hopefully for you, this is the last broadcast of the year. Um, and so anyway, okay, so we're back in business with the TV. We have even more garlands this year. I haven't made how important is it, but every time I go to Whole Foods, I buy a new plant or two, depending on if they have nice ones, which they usually do, in fact. Okay, so that's the old diffuser. Aromatic therapy diffuser, as someone taught me. There's the new elephant. I really want to do its tail, but it's too there. And there's the, actually, I looked more closely, the tea is from Pakistan, so who knows what the story is there. Okay, so you see windows cleaned, my Jungle Gym hat, Mark, Zach, Buddy. You know what I did? I ordered my birth certificate, something I had lost track of over the years, and I realized that my mother had only been in California for 3 weeks when she had me. Isn't that interesting? She was coming from, I don't know where, Louisiana, Austin, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is neater, and the next, this is my sacred shell, and I'm going to clean it and tidy it up over the, whatever the one-day holiday. Okay, so here is the state of things. I'm really happy that they finally cleaned the windows. Okay, I've been doing it, but they, like it or not, they do a better job. Okay, there's some new plants there. There's one light there, 2 lights there. You see more garlands. Visit India. Okay, so let's just sort of, this thing is really grown. Actually, those leaves are getting a little bit brown there, but it's grown a lot in 2 years. That's kind of new. Clean windows. The bike, which actually serves as, despite the complaints that I get from the people who dare get up so high here. The bike works as a cowbike. Well, actually, there, that was an empty lot when I got here, but because of my whatever persuasiveness, it became a little park. They should call that the RS Park. We have Peter Gordon. Is it Peter? No, it's Dexter Gordon. Sorry, Dexter. See what I know. Our Lady of Guadalupe. Speaking of Our Lady of Guadalupe. See, I've been wearing a blazer in my tea party, so I'm dressing down. Because I have to go into a suit at 4 o'clock for the big party. I think any changes here. You see, this is proof that I clean for them. Okay, I'm frantically vacuuming 5 minutes before they get here. Okay, and with this is what I was doing for because my philosophy friends really like this. I know you guys, you chaps, you don't read mine. Okay, so I almost forgot. Aromatherapy diffuser number 2. There, which in a way it works better, but that's, who cares? Let me think. Oh yeah, my philosophy people really, they just go crazy over when I do this. Okay, so they just really like it, and they write me and they invite me to conferences and ask me to present and shit. I mean, what's her face? Francesca really wants me to present at the psychiatrist. What do I know about the psychiatry? What do I know about philosophy for that matter? This is a really good, okay. This is a fantastic chronic, by the way. think it's really, really good. It's the best biographical thing because it not only it tells you what he was doing and where, which, you know, okay, so I got this. I think the date is even on it. It's not. The date is on there. Okay, see, this is when I bought this because they only came out in, well, I kind of don't forget the sequence, but I think they came out in the very late 70s. I couldn't afford the whole collected set. It's a great scholar's edition. There. I mean, I used to carry whatever, damn, hundreds of books around, hundreds of Nietzsche books. And there's the letters. And, you know, I have a horrible confession. I've never really read the letters thoroughly, you know, seriously, in a scholarly, philosophical way. But I did start reading them because there was an edition. Oh, okay, this is boring, but you're going to hear it now. There was a kind of a popular edition. There we go. Here's my January, February, March lineup. I like this is a good idea to have open dialogue. Okay, systematic therapy. I'm interested about this one. I don't know what that one is. That's third from the bottom. Self-narratives and emotions. I mean, I'm really on top of this. I'm gonna talk to them about this. This is, I mean, okay. So my great confession is, I mean, I have a lot of this. Even though these guys are real. I mean, they're not phonies like, you know, the Maryland people. They're really serious and they're involved in real lab research and they're practicing psychiatrists, and you know they're not old. I mean, the oldest one is maybe 45. The average is in the they might be moving towards 40 at the oldest. And they're in Freiburg, and Jerusalem, and a couple of other places, a few places in the UK, which makes it very interesting. And let me think. Do any of them? No, none of them have English. I'm the only one. This is one of the reasons why it's very interesting for me because, you know, I came of age where everyone was speaking their native language except me. Okay, and now for various reasons, because so many things are in English. I'm the only one who has English as a native language, and frankly, that's really good. I mean, I always have good stuff to contribute. Because not that I, you know, go ride my grammar horse. I mean, not at all. But I mean, I see things linguistically that they simply don't see, and I mean that's fantastic. I mean, it's really, really, really good. And I can point the other thing. There's something that's also very important here, is that okay? I mean, my German is okay, but it's still, you know, it's not sound at all. I mean, there's a lot of German grammar that I never studied and. German is hard. German's probably as hard as Greek, you know, to really learn it because not only is the grammar really complicated with, you know, declensions and all that stuff, but you know, very difficult, you know, an alien grammar, a non-Latin grammar, obviously. You know, you have to flip the verbs to the end and many things like that. An enormous use of passive, Germans really like or used to like, you know, in the good old bad days, they use passive constructions all the time. So one should probably study that. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the vocabulary is just so incredibly difficult. I've got some grammar, some vocabulary things that I'll show you because they're very interesting. They're really, really interesting in terms of meaning. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so this means that this Heidegger stuff, you know, like these Heidegger discussions, even with Germans, because I mean they don't necessarily track Heidegger's German, which is basically Heidegger German, okay, and unless you know the background, unless you've tracked the philosophical background, I mean you don't really. I mean they can say stuff, but they don't really understand it. And where I know the philosophy pretty well, I mean, not great, you know, not at the true Heidegger level, Levinas, Derrida level, but still, I mean, I've done it, you know, and I know where the passages are, I know, like, the pathway, and, you know, even though, you know, an American idiot, you know, uneducated American idiot, I still have a good concept of where Heidegger came from. And I also have access to, because of this is a generational thing, where, I studied Heidegger as a part of the history of philosophy, and they don't really study history of philosophy anywhere anymore. In where they used to study history of philosophy, that's kind of been phased, and this who knows what else. I don't even know anymore. Let me see one other thing about this. Oh yeah, except for France. Okay, and there they still do. There it's the only country probably in the world that really does history of philosophy anymore, which is, once again, from my point of view, good. Anyway, so I get in these meetings, and even though, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, the brainwaves and all that stuff, that's not what is problematic for them. What is problematic for them is the terminology, first of all, because they know their terminology is bad. They know that it's not rigorous. And I can help with some there, okay? Some. I most certainly usually have something to say because, once again, I have read Heidegger and Husserl and all this stuff not as philosophers. They read it to help themselves, okay? And the other thing is the personal stuff, and this is where, okay, I'm going to stop here. This is where the literature is so important. It gives me a real advantage in these conversations because, okay, not only modesty aside, can I talk about my life much better than any of these people? Okay, I'm gonna tell stories. So, when I was in Paris, I was, shit. Okay, so, but I can refer the personal experiences and the psychiatric and the psychological experiences they're talking about to literature. And they can't do this, and no one can do this. And this is where, in some ways, I wish I could get you through a 6-month tutorial in, whatever, something. And then have you participate in these, because you would really find it interesting, because the importance for them of being able to describe human emotions is incredibly important. Okay, I'm going to stop. This is where the big relationship between our best discussions and all this, scholarly zoomy stuff really comes into focus, because even though, okay, I'm, worn down, and, I'm never going to learn Greek, and, real tragedies like that. But, still, between New York and all this recent stuff, not to speak of, I'm not talking about the globe and all that. I could probably worm my way into the globe if I really wanted to, if I had the time, and if I was interested, but I'm not. I just want to learn from them, and I learn a lot from them. But it's an incredible validation. I guess what I'm getting at. That all the, the years of slavery and abuse and lies that went into teaching for those loony schools. In a way, it matters at one level, certainly, but at another level, it doesn't matter at all, because, what I wanted to do and what is clearly important, okay? And bringing all this stuff together between my personal baloney, my crappy but still authentic knowledge of the history of philosophy, and my sort of excursions in literature. This is a great combination. It's a needed conversation. This is a needed combination. The other thing is the medical stuff. This is where, it was really weird. This is getting too long, I know, but this is very weird for me, because it was just when you and I were starting to talk about this that I kind of got dragged. I don't even know how I got into it, but I ended up in Francesca's Jerusalem thing. And that was like from the second, that was bloody scary, because within seconds we were talking about the patient-doctor relationship and the subjectivity involved and the difficulty of that, which was, mutatis mutandis, exactly what you and I have been talking about for 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, I'm going to shut up. You see, my tea party's going to start.